Hello, it's your boy Hans, joined as always by my friend of 25 years, actor extraordinaire, the GCJ himself, the SSAM champion of the world, Mr. JP Wool. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing really, really good. How about yourself?
And freaking tastic, because today our feature presentation is the Tom Cruise starring Jack Reacher.
Yeah, we talked about what we wanted to do, and both of us were really into the Reacher TV show on Prime. And I was just like, why don't we just do the Jack Reacher movie, and we can kind of, juxtapose and talk, because there are some changes made.
I'll say it right now. Like the show way better.
Oh, 100%. 100,000 million percent. The movie is fun. What?
Have you finished the series?
I did finish the show.
Okay, well then we can talk about that in a minute.
Yes.
But, yeah, the movie is fun.
The movie's fun.
If I would have seen it before, I think I would have liked it better. But I was just like, it's not my beefcake. Like,
yeah, Alan Richardson is like not even a side of beef. He's like the whole slab.
Yeah,
like,
he's the entire
It's just
cow.
like, yeah, he's the entire fucking cow. He's fucking huge. And he's shredded, just jacked, and it's just like, he's charming as hell, and it's just, God, so good.
Yeah, I like that actor.
So good.
I've watched that Titans show. First season's pretty good. Second's really, really bad. I've heard the third's all right, but I just can't get through the second. But he's in that. He plays like Hawkman or something, or like the Hawker. But yeah, he's great. So I love him.
And you remember how he was in New Girl? He was the dude with the micro peen.
Yes, the micro. So good. Yeah, big fan of that dude.
He's really good. He's really good. Yeah.
Well, before we get into that, what have you been watching, reading, seeing, doing this week?
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing of the week is Reacher. I finished the 8th and final episode last night. When I got home from work, I had like 20 minutes left, and it was like late at night, and I was just like, let's do it. And I finished the episode. It was basically I'm not going to say any spoilers, but I'm just going to say the big, like, battle.
The big action set piece at the end.
Yeah.
Wrap it all up.
And it was awesome.
Where he kills all the bad guys. I mean, of course, because he's Jack Reacher, he's going to win. And they're making a second season. We already know that.
Yeah. And it was awesome. There was a couple moments, like, at the very, very end where they said some kind of cliche shit. And I was just kind of like, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
I did like how the seemingly weak detective that was like the Harvard educated guy.
Yeah.
He had the gun show going out at the end.
Fucking gun show.
All of a sudden.
And I like how Reacher was like, "You're kind of jacked, Finley." And Finley's like, "Thanks, really?" And Reacher goes, "No."
I mean, not compared to him, but
yeah.
He looks better than I'll ever look. So.
Oh man,
Finley.
And he did really good. And that's like, what a cool premise for a show. It's basically every season is an entirely new cast except for Reacher.
Yeah.
New cast, new story. It's basically an anthology series, except with one remaining character.
Absolutely. Yeah,
it's great.
I've described it as like the greatest dad show of all time. Like if your dad loves like Tom Clancy and all that, he's gonna love Jack Reacher.
Oh yeah, my dad has read every single Jack Reacher book, and I think there's like fucking like 25 of them. And you know what? I'm gonna read them at some point too, because they sound like a lot of fun. And
I got my dad watching the show. He hasn't read the books. He started watching the show. He's like, "Oh, this is fun."
Yeah, they are. It's like an airport book. It's like a book you'd buy in the airport lobby, and you're like, "Oh, cool, this sounds fun." And then you're reading it on the plane, and you're like, "This is fun." Exactly.
I mean, they have so many tropes that are just like played out and tired, but for whatever reason, it works.
It really works. And honestly, this is shit that is really in our wheelhouse. Like if these books and this movie had been made in the 80s, it would be like, okay, man. That makks sense. That makes sense.
It does feel like it's not of this time. It's of that time.
Yeah, because
you're absolutely right.
We both know if this was made in like 1986, we know who would have played Reacher.
Yeah,
It was fucking Arnold.
No question.
Arnold would have played Reacher, clearly. Maybe Stallone, but probably Arnold.
He could have, but yeah, it would have been Arnold.
Yeah, it would have been fucking Arnold, because Arnold is like a fucking Hulk of a man, and it's just, yeah.
It's just, and that's what you need. That was a lot of the criticism I heard from the Tom Cruise. Like, I thought Cruise did a good job, but yeah, he's just not that tank of a man.
He's not 6'5", 6'5", 2, because Reacher in the book is described as 6'5", 250.
Yeah, as wide as he is tall.
Yeah, and Tom Cruise, he's a badass. He's a great actor. Got lots of presence. Not 6'5", 250.
Yeah, you can't act size and girth.
I was thinking that exact same thing. It's like Tom Cruise can act pretty much anything except size.
Yeah, you just can't fake that. Nothing you can say or do. It just is or it isn't.
Yeah. And then let's see. So I really loved the Reacher show. And then I was telling you before we got on the mic that I'm really loving the Always Sunny podcast. It is so fun. It sounds like we're just hanging out with them. They're all just talking. They talk a little bit about the episode that they're discussing. But mostly it's just them kind of just like shooting the shit and talking for like 30 minutes. It's great. It goes down super smooth, super easy.
That's great. I've been watching a lot of Sunny recently.
Mm-hmm.
I keep meaning to check that podcast out. I keep seeing like clips of it posted online. I'm like, oh, this is great. Because it does. You get that feel like, oh, it's just friends hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah.
They're also like way funnier than us or any of our friends.
Yeah. They're just
and no shot at our friends.
No, not at all. And no shot at us either, because we're pretty fucking funny and we're pretty entertaining. But it's like Charlie Day is one of the most funny, effortlessly funny people like alive. He's so fucking effortlessly funny. The way he talks is funny.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys. Anything he does is just funny.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy to see too. It's like they all talk about not growing up, but like being young actors in New York together, and like, Glenn Howerton, Dennis, is a classically trained theater actor.
Juilliard shit, right?
But then so is Charlie. Charlie's like a classically trained theater actor too. Like he did the Williamstown Theater Festival in New Hampshire, and is like did a play with Ethan Hawke, and it's just like he's a
married
legit
to the waitress in real life too.
He is. He is. It's great.
And Howerton is married to one of the people he dentist.
No shit, really?
I think so.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. Oh, I want to be their friends. And I've heard I've just heard they're so nice too, like so nice and so awesome, like
And I love Mac, like Mac in real life. It's like his actual name. Like they're all just like they're kind of their names. His show, what is it? Mythic Quest. On Apple TV. Really good.
I need to watch it. It's just there's so much stuff to keep up with.
It's way better than it should be, and it has like this heart for like out of nowhere that I'm like, oh my god, you made me feel something. I was not expecting that. Ricky Crickett's one of like the main characters too. I mean, he basically just plays Mac, but if Mac was like a genius video game designer, but it's still kind of the same feel, like just way too confident and just cocky and douchey. But
awesome.
Yeah,
great,
really good.
Great,
check that out.
What else? What have you been reading besides Sunny?
A lot of older stuff. Like I went on I started watching some old like Star Wars, and things like that. What else did I watch? I watched a movie the other day. Well, I watched Return of the Jedi for some reason.
Oh, well, I mean, great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, because Book of Boba Fett ended, and I was like, I need my fix.
Yeah. Right, mainlining it.
Exactly. I also have been watching Righteous Gemstones.
God, I need to get back into that. I watched the first few episodes of the first season, and I loved it, but then I got distracted with some other shit.
I'm a big fan. I've really enjoyed this season. Especially
nice.
Uncle Baby Billy. No, he's not a baby. He's a 70-year-old silver-haired man.
Fucking Danny McBride, Walt Goggins.
John Goggins is like Uncle Baby Billy. Walton Goggins in old man makeup. It's ridiculous.
There's a story that Mac tells on the podcast where he's like, he prefaces it with, where some guy wanted to arm wrestle him at a party, and he was like, yeah, and I just been outside smoking 1,000 cigarettes with Walton Goggins. It was an FX party. It was just like hilarious.
Oh yeah, he was on The Shield, and
yeah,
is he on Justified too?
He was.
I never watched Justified, but
I loved it. I watched like the first few seasons, and then I lost access to FX, and that was before everything was fucking streaming on everything. So I get back into it at some point. But did you ever watch The Shield?
Yes.
Fuck, that show's so good.
But I didn't. I when I was younger, I used to have this thing of TV shows I liked, I would never finish.
Oh.
I didn't watch the last half of the last season.
Oh my God.
And now I don't remember anything, so I can't just go back and watch the last 6 episodes because I don't know anything. I don't know what's going on. I'm not gonna go back and watch 7 seasons of 22 episodes. I'm just not.
Maybe at some point.
No, I never will.
Well, I can tell you it's very dark, and it ends. It makes you very sad.
Well, I've heard it's one of the best finales of all time.
It's really good.
I have this thing where I've never enjoyed a series finale of a show I liked, but it's because I don't want it to be over. There's nothing they can do other than give me more that will make me happy, and that's not what a series finale is, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm never satisfied.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's why I didn't even watch them for the longest time. There's a number of series that I really loved that I never saw the end of. That's a whole other thing for our therapist to discuss. What else? I thought I had something else, but I can't think of it right now, so it probably wasn't that important. Oh, yeah, no, I remember. I watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the new one.
Oh, in the stream with Aaron.
Yeah, we streamed it, Aaron and I. Not great.
That's what I'm hearing. It's just like.
Yeah, and I've never seen any of them, so I don't
neither.
have the nostalgia or any knowledge of the franchise. So I'm sure they had little beats that were nods to this and that, and I just
Easter eggs and shit like that.
That just meant nothing to me.
Yeah.
So I'm not the best person to come to for it was gory and brutal, but I don't know,
corny and shit.
Not necessarily. It felt really like it was a lot of studio meddling, and the original directors were fired after a week, and so I think there was a lot going on behind the scenes.
Ooh,
and it felt like that. If anyone wants to hear my full thoughts on it, check out that stream on Class Horror Cast YouTube page. We go into it, and Aaron has a lot of background details because that's his jam, that's his genre. So he knew a lot of the stuff, and it fit with my thoughts of something was going on, and there was shit going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. Ugh, that's a bummer. But
it was a competently made movie, but it felt like a lot of checking boxes of studio execs, especially when it comes to I hate even saying stuff like woke stuff. It's we have checked this box, we checked that box, but it was just so it's almost insulting the way they do it.
Yeah, just very blatant.
Yeah, inclusion and touching on certain issues. That's all great, but not done that way.
It's like guys, this is a horror movie.
It feels condescending the way they do it. Just it's some studio execs just nope, we did this. We don't actually care about this issue we're talking about. We just we said it, so that's just, it feels gross. Yeah,
because I feel like there's definitely a way to do that.
Oh, 100% there is.
Yeah, it's just, but yeah, like you said, it's just
done. It's just doing it in the way they did it. It's just, it felt icky.
Well, I'll stay away from that one. I mean, I got to be honest,
I
wasn't clamoring to see it. Oh, an hour 20 is all. Oof,
a lot longer.
Yeah.
But it was a competently made movie. I don't want to shit on anyone who was in it. The people did the best they could with what they had. No one was bad in it, and it wasn't a poorly put together movie. So I don't want to shit on anyone involved in it. I think they did everything they could. It just reeked of suits getting involved that, have no talent or creative bone in their body, thinking they can tell a creative person what to do.
Sounds about par for the course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
Well, you want to just get into it?
Let's do this.
And let's get into our feature presentation.
And now, our feature presentation.
Jack Reacher from 2012, a 63% from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, a 67% from the audience, directed by Christopher Mcquarrie, starring Tom Cruise as Jack Reacher, Rosamund Pike as Helen Roden, Robert Duvall as Cash, Richard Jenkins as the DA Roden, Werner Herzog as the Sec, David Aiello, whoa, sorry, I suck, I know, Detective Emerson, and Jai Courtney as Charlie.
Yeah. It took me a long time to pronounce that too. I had to listen in an interview. Yellow. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like how it's spelled. Again, we've been over this before. If it's not John Smith, I can't say it. I just can't.
But right off the bat, great cast.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible cast. Christopher Mcquarrie, who, is a very competent director and an incredibly accomplished screenwriter, wrote Usual Suspects, wrote The Mummy. But I mean,
which mummy?
He wrote the Tom Cruise vehicle.
I never saw that, but yeah.
Nah, don't skip it. But I mean, he wrote a lot of really good shit. He wrote Valkyrie. Remember that movie Valkyrie with Tom Cruise?
Oh yeah, that's the one where Tom Cruise had a fake ass.
He had a fake ass?
I actually have a picture of it on my desktop at this moment. Oddly enough.
Oh my! Can you share the screen with me, please?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you real quick. I can't believe you never seen this. I'm sorry. This is terrible for what we're doing right now, but it doesn't matter. This has to be shared. Yeah, it's just sitting on my desktop. Here we go.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Okay.
Right? I mean,
oh my god, it looks like somebody stuffed 2 overinflated basketballs down his pants.
He's got 2 Christmas hams hanging out this back.
And like, oh my god.
It's unbelievable.
Google it, guys. Google it. It's
look
fucking
up Tom Cruise ass in Valkyrie. Or just probably Tom Cruise ass.
Yeah.
Why that's sitting on my desktop, that's a conversation for another day.
That's when we review Valkyrie. We'll have a whole section.
We'll have a Patreon explaining the unfortunate JPEGs that are on my desktop.
But yeah, great cast, great writer, great director. Yeah. But yeah, like we said, fun movie, but yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, all right. So I'd never seen this, and
oh, okay.
I'd seen the beginning, and that's why I'd never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a weird comparison, but the reason I don't like slasher movies is because I don't like watching innocent people get killed for no reason. Like that doesn't. Yeah. It feels gross, and I don't like it. Mm-hmm. And that's the beginning of this movie.
It's just, I wrote in here, I went, Jesus, this is awful.
It's really gross, like, and unsettling, and I know what they're doing, but it just, like,
it's tough.
Not for me.
Yeah, it's tough. It's brutal.
So, I mean, let's get into it. We kick off with a bang, no pun intended, yeah. Some I didn't realize this was Jai Courtney. I just wrote some very handsome sniper dick just starts randomly shooting civilians. Drives off and he shoots like 5 people just randomly. Like the first guy's on like a bench just sitting there hanging out, and like one lady like has a kid in her arm. Like it's really gross.
Yeah.
I don't like
it. Really awful. It's really awful.
Yeah. And then he drives off in a white panel van. Police show up, but he's long gone. We get our first look at Detective Emerson. He does some detecting. finds like fingerprints of like on like the guy had like a parking meter he fed, and like they left like shell casings and this and that. So there's all this evidence left behind, but they make a very strong point of showing that the man that was doing the shooting, Mr. Courtney, had gloves on the whole time. So
yeah, there's little things that make
so
think,
you know right away that like he's getting all this evidence, but it's a setup.
Yeah, it's a trap.
It's a trap. They go arrest some dude, and dude's name is James Barr. And they get him in like they do a number of these things where like really long reveals, but like you know exactly who it's gonna be. Like they do they're interrogating the guy because you can't see the face of the guy that they arrested, and they do this interrogation scene, and the really long like slow camera pan, and it's like I know it's not gonna be the handsome sniper man. I know it's not.
Yeah.
They do it later on
clearly.
too when she's talking to her dad, but do
it
a couple
clearly
times.
we
Like,
know.
just get to it. We know.
Yeah.
And they're like if you don't admit or like confess, you're getting the death penalty, but if you do, like you can save us all some time and you just go to jail forever. And they send him like a confession, and they think he signs it, but it just says get me Jack Reacher.
And have you noticed whenever a lot of our movies that we watch in the show, they always use a threat of jail and getting like sexually assaulted in jail as like this is gonna happen to you, so you better let us know.
I believe he said that you're no one will be able to tell the difference between a fart and a yawn or something.
Yeah.
Really like, graphic and gross.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get Jack Reacher.
Yep. So we get some exposition on our hero. They do it by running through his like jacket, his like past accomplishments.
Exposition.
Intercut between like him banging broads and buying shirts for Goodwill.
And just being jacked. Just jacked.
And he had also seen the news report of the suspect, because they're going on like, this is a guy like you can't find, like he finds you. And then there's like a knock on the door. It's like the assistant's like, there's a Mr. Reacher here to see you. It's so good.
I love that.
It's so good.
I love that.
Yeah. So he shows up. He's talking to the DA and Detective Emerson. They have a bit of a chat. We find out Barr is in a coma because he just got his shit beat up in jail, I guess.
Yeah, he was in the truck, or they were being
like
transported from from I think probably like, county
to actual jail.
Yeah, and he got the shit kicked out of him, and he's in a coma, and they're like, well, no, sorry, it happened.
Yeah. And I mean, sort of fair enough. It's like, are we going to go out of our way to protect a person who just murdered 5 people?
Yeah.
So I love Reacher has a chat with them. And he also meets with Helen, who's another protagonist. She's a defense attorney and also the DA's daughter.
Yeah, Richard Jenkins' daughter. Yeah,
Rosamund Pike. I love that she's like, oh, did you come to help him? I didn't come to help him. I came here to bury him.
Yeah. Jack Reacher. Yeah, like Lee Child must have watched or been a huge fan of fucking 80s movies, because Reacher has all in this movie and the show.
Yep.
He has the best fucking one-liners.
So good.
Best one-liners.
Yep.
The count to 3 shit, and
that's so good.
Great. Oh, it's
so
great.
Helen and Reacher, they go to a diner to chat, have some food. He tells her about like Barr, like he's a former Army sniper or maybe he's a Marine, I don't know, whatever. He's in the military, he's a sniper. And he's like, there's like 4 types of people that join the Army, and it's like patriots, like people who just need a job, and then people like just want to kill somebody. He's like, he was the latter.
Yeah.
And he's like, he went through his entire tour. He never shot anybody. So like at the very end, because this is how they know each other. He's like at the very end, he just like shot a bunch of like civilian contractors.
He needed to just scratch that itch.
Yeah, yeah. He's basically like really horny for murder. Apparently, that was his assessment of him. And he was like a prosecutor at MP or something in the army. Like that's who Reacher was. So like, so he knew that this all happened, but it just happened to turn out that the civilian contractors won't go into exactly what they said they did, but it was really gross and they're a bunch of scumbags. So it just kind of went away because it's like, didn't mean to kill bad people, but they completely deserved it. So like it just kind of went away.
Yeah.
Then he's just like, yeah, so that's that. I'm out of here. He's guilty. Like, takes the bus out of town. Only he doesn't.
Nope. Reacher stayed behind.
Yep.
She turns her car and almost like runs right into him. He's just standing right in the middle of the road.
I thought for sure he was just going to be sitting in the back seat.
I thought so too. I've seen this movie before, but I was like, is he sitting in the back seat?
For sure. But yeah, they restrained themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
He stayed to help. Reacher goes to the scene of the crime while Helen decides to ill-advisedly go speak with like the victims' families.
Oof.
Wild move on her part.
Oof. Because Reacher told her, he's like, you have to talk to the victim's family. You have to look at the victims objectively.
Yeah.
It's like,
exactly.
Okay, sure, I guess.
Yeah. It's like he thinks he did it, but then there's this little, like he's got his own little itch.
Yeah.
He's like, something doesn't add up.
Yeah.
I love that he keeps coming back to the parking thing, just like in the show. He keeps coming back to, that was a lot of feed.
Yeah. He just gets that idea in his head that he just won't let go.
They don't hammer it as far home as they do the animal feed thing in the show, but yeah, he does mention it numerous times. Yeah, he like scopes out the crime scene or whatever. She goes to see the victim family, and like, guy's real mad. The dad is, of course, like that he just like has a gun there.
Yeah, well, see, I kind of saw that as, because he's obviously like very sad, very heartbroken, and very angry. I almost saw that as like maybe like a self-defense thing, but also kind of like maybe suicidal.
That's what I thought at first too, until she was like, I should go, and he's like, sit down.
True.
But yeah, she ends up getting out of there, and her dad just like shows up.
Yeah, he's just there. What are you doing?
Yeah, like how would you go see them by yourself? Like, you fool. Yeah. They argue a bit, whatever. Reacher keeps investigating, speaks with Detective Emerson, has questions about, again, like we just said, about why he paid for parking. So he's like, no one pays for parking.
Nobody pays for parking, especially Jack Reacher.
Yeah. Yeah, my time at the University of Iowa can attest to that. I had more parking tickets. They actually had to put up a sign because of where I used to park at our dorm. I used to park in a loading zone, and there was no sign. There's a sign there now that says you can't park. I leave it there for weeks at a time.
I feel like if I had my car freshman year, I would have done that, but I just didn't. I was like, I don't need it. I'm gonna be here all the time.
I shouldn't have. That cost me like thousands of dollars. But anyways, yeah, he hammers the parking thing again. Then just decides to go to a bar.
Yeah, just like in a crowded bar, just gonna get a meal. Just gonna get a meal in a crowded bar.
Yep.
Didn't make a lot of sense, but what do you?
No, it seemed like he was there for a purpose, and I mean, story-wise, he was, but like he couldn't have foreseen what was about to happen.
Yeah.
Some way too young lady named like Sandy, that's it. Starts like hitting on him. And he just implies she's a hooker.
It's just like talking about just fucking giving it to her right away. And what does he say? He says, the cheaper the woman, the more you pay. The more it
costs me. Yeah, the more.
Or no, the cheaper the woman, the more you the more it implies you have to pay or something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines.
And she's like, I'm not a hooker. And he goes, hooker would get the joke.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's being a real dick to her. I mean, you find out like why later on, because he's like, he made up a name, and she was like thrown off by that. So then he knew that she was there because she was expecting him to say his actual name. But we'll get to that. Yeah, she like freaks out on him and is like, calls a bunch of dudes over. She's like, these are my brothers. Like 5 of them. None of them look like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she gets real loud, and they want to fight him. They go outside, and he does his Jack Reacher thing of like, he's like, yeah, I'll give you one last chance to leave. And the main guy's like, oh, there's five of us. Like, why would we? He's like, well, he's like 5v1. He's like, no, it's 3 versus 1 because I take you out. Maybe 2 of your wingmen have some balls to like come fight me, and the other 2 are run because the other 2 always run.
They always run.
It's
getting
out.
Late.
Yeah,
it's
exactly
late.
how he said. He beats the shit out of 3 of them. 2 of them run. Cops show up suspiciously quickly.
Yeah, pretty great response time, fellas. And then they cuff him on the ground, and he sees the leader of the gang, and he's just like, who hired you? He just knew right away.
Yep.
Right away.
He knew he was on to everyone. And that's more explained when Helen and Emerson go to see him in custody, just like laying there. And you get like the Reacher shit where he's like laying down, not looking at the door, and he's like, oh, counselor, like Helen, whatever. And she's like, how did you know? He's like, because you're breathing heavily or something. I don't know.
Breathing too sternly.
Yeah. Because he just has that trope of like, he looks at someone and he just like knows everything. He's just a guy who knows everything.
He reads people incredibly well.
Exactly. So he like explains to her what happened. Really loves Yankees second baseman. Because that's the name he gave Sandy. Helen,
Jimmy Reese.
Yeah. Helen then gives backstory on like all the victims, so we like relive that uncomfortable shit again.
Oh God, that reenactment! I don't know what happened, but it like shot me right in the heart, and I like teared up. I don't know why. It like, I mean, granted, it's really like fucking personal, brutal.
You know?
It made it personal. It's really fucking brutal. Not everything was all bright and sunny. Like some people were like having really rough times at home and, you know, shit like that. But just like the reenactment itself, it literally like snapped into me, and I just started like tearing up. I was like, whoa, holy shit.
Yeah. They start like connecting the people. It's like, not all of this was random. Like,
yeah.
And he's not on the right thread to begin with, because like 2 of them were like having an affair or something. Like,
yeah.
He's like, he's like, something's just smells
right.
funny, you know?
Yeah.
And this all happens while he's shirtless in a motel room.
Yeah, just shirtless, drinking a beer, and she's like, can you please put a shirt on? And he's like, my shirt's right here, it's drying.
Yeah.
You have one shirt? Yeah.
This man has no personal boundaries. He talks way too close to people.
Close talker.
Way too close. He's a sidler. He's right up in everyone's face. So yeah, she ends up leaving after she thinks he's trying to fuck her, because like everything in his body language looks like he is, but just, I don't know, being weird. She's just being a creature.
She's like, you don't think I'm gonna, and then he just like hands her keys, and he's just like opens the door, and he's like, pick me up in the morning. She's like, okay.
I like when she leaves, like a nice little bit of acting on her part was like, she's just like, like I'm an idiot. Like even though you should have absolutely thought what you thought, like everything he was doing should have made you think that. But that was more of, she did character work for his character in that moment.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Which props to her.
She's a fucking great actress.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Absolutely.
She's so good.
Then we get to there's like a shady alley dealing with handsome sniper whose name is Charlie and Jai Courtney. And there's some, I didn't completely understand who this goon was. Like, we didn't talk about it, but like he was like watching. I don't know if he's like a PI or a crooked cop or something.
I just took it as like he was one of their like underlings, and he hired the guys to like ambush,
right.
Reacher in the bar, and then he was like, "Don't worry, I took care of it. I got it." And then
right.
Werner comes slinking out of the shadows.
I would like to see the baby.
He's so weird.
He's
so weird. He's so good.
I love him.
It just makes you uncomfortable. It's just
he's scary.
He's scary, and of course they gave him, like one cloudy eye, and then he tells the story about how being a prisoner in Siberia, he gnawed his hypothermic fingers off before they turned gangrenous, and he's like, and then he fucking did all this other shit, and
what does he means prisoner.
Yeah, sec means prisoner.
He gives the goon like an option to like save himself. He's like wants him to like cut his fingers off, and he's like, no knife. He wants him to chew his fingers off.
Yeah, yeah. Jeez. He's like, I can't do it. Boom.
Yeah. Then Charlie just shoots him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Back to Helen and Reacher. They're chatting. He wants her to look into like gun ranges. He's first like bars and strip clubs and like bowling alleys or something. I don't know what he says. He's like, that's like the main things you need to look for where this guy goes. And she's like, he doesn't go anywhere. It's like, okay, look for gun ranges because that's how we're gonna start piecing things together. And when he talked to Sandy, she said she told him she worked at the auto parts store, and they just like find it immediately. He's like, take me to the auto parts store. And it being called, did you notice the name of it?
Default Auto Parts.
It being called Default Auto Parts is like the most on the nose thing ever. It made my teeth hurt.
Yeah, that was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, yikes. Okay. Funny though. He proceeds to threaten like the cashier.
I need to see something. How about the inside of an ambulance?
Yeah, like that guy did nothing wrong. Like he was trying to protect his coworker. Like he was being a good dude, and he just threatened the shit out of that guy.
Yeah,
like really mean.
Come on, Reacher.
Yeah. Just wrote poor Gary.
Poor Gary. But Reacher, is gonna get what he wants by any means necessary.
Yeah, I don't think he actually was going to hurt him.
No,
he was innocent, but yeah, that probably fucked him up.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Gary was emotionally equipped to deal with that. He even has like a dig later on when he's talking because he gets him to show him her, and like he's like, oh, give me your car, and he's like, I know it's not that like shitty pickup truck like that has Gary written all over. It's like, oh man.
I missed that part.
Poor Gary.
Poor Gary.
So yeah, she gives up all like the information real quick. She
caves real fast.
Yeah, she's like, I just do what I'm told. Rats out the guy in charge. Reacher goes to see him, but not before she tries to fuck him. I think that was weird.
Oh, I missed that part.
She was just like, as he's like leaving, she's like, so like, what are you doing later?
Oh, geez.
Really weird.
Yeah.
He's just like, leave town.
Yeah. You got some money, leave town. I remember that bit.
Yeah, I didn't need that. I know what they're going for. I didn't like it.
Yeah, No thanks.
So Reacher takes the car from her that was like the main guy's car. She just had it, I guess. Drives up to this guy's place. There's some like, he was like a meth cooker. Like he's just a bad guy.
Yeah.
Some old geriatric meth head on the front porch. I like that. I like it. He asks her, and she's just like 1,000-yard stare, and he's like looks at the pipe. He's like, I get it.
But it was an act.
She was faking it. Yeah.
She was faking it. She had a little flip phone.
Puts the clam phone out and makes a call or a text or something. This was weird.
Very weird.
I thought one of those guys like was on the inside or like was gonna be on his side because like a couple goons show up and they like hit him in the back of the head with a bat, like real quick. And he like falls into a tub and he's all fucked up. And these two guys are like just start fighting each other. Like,
yeah, it was like fucking Three Stooges or something in there. They were just like accidentally hitting each other in the face and like
like what was going on? Like the one guy like hits the other dude in the face with a bat, and like I thought he was gonna be like, "Hey, come with me," like.
Yeah.
And then he just like took to swinging. Like, what was that all about? That was
I
weird.
mean, I guess it's kind of showing. I read something in the trivia that they wanted to show how small Pittsburgh bathrooms are or something. I don't know, but that just makes zero fucking sense. And I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it was a small area, but like you can do that by like having them both try to go in at the same time and like get stuck and like, but like. The fact that he like knocked the one guy out that's supposed to be like his teammate, that was weird. It didn't make any sense.
It made zero sense. And, you know, of course, Reacher got the advantage and, you know, used one guy's head to like beat the other guy up.
How he knocks one guy or both guys out by using one dude's head as a bludgeoning tool. That was great. Then a third guy just shows up with a gun. And of course, doesn't fire because why would they? Why would he? Because then it'd just be over and everyone would be fine. He disarms him real quick, makes him tell him where the main dude is. Takes his car, and then we see like the Audi that's watching him. That night, meets up with Helen again. He's like the main dude that attacked him at the bar. He's like he's dead. Because, like, it was made to look like he left town. But he's like, who takes a shower curtain with him? Because there was no shower curtain in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Which I took was, like, they killed him there, and then there was blood, so they took the shower curtain.
Or wrapped him up in the shower curtain.
Yeah.
You know,
it had something to do with the murder of him in the place. They don't explain that, but which I actually appreciate. But
yeah, because we don't need to know that.
Right.
We just all we need to know is he's dead.
Yeah,
cool.
That's one, like, I wouldn't say a problem I have with this movie is like I like when movies don't act like the audience is stupid and like can figure that out. But at times they do act like we're dumb and need our hand held through things. So it's like, which one is it?
Yeah, like come on now.
Yeah, and I don't even begrudge the filmmakers for that. I assume that's like a studio note thing where they're like, well, people won't understand, or they had their like they go to Vegas on a Tuesday afternoon and have the screening with a bunch of people who shouldn't ever have advice on anything, and they tell them what they didn't like or did like about the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, because clearly
like the focus groups. That's the.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever been to Vegas? Like they're like, hey, movie, and it's like.
They do that here too in LA. They'll do that here. Yeah.
The only people you're getting are like delinquents, like drunks, like unemployed people like that just shouldn't be having any say on anything.
Yeah, they do those here all the time. You know, if you're out in front of a movie theater during the week and like, hey, movie starring Chris Pine and Gal Gadot next week, free tickets. You want to see it? I'm like, no.
Yeah, so you're getting like tourists or the unemployable, like you're getting a group of people that should not be making decisions.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting movie fans.
Exactly, you're not getting people with functioning brains for the most part.
Yeah.
So, and he goes to see her and they have all that chat. Reacher starts to explain his theory of like why Barr didn't do it. Like now he's on team. Barr didn't do it. Says he's innocent. Knows someone's been following the whole time. Like he's aware of this Audi following him. Like gets the plate, has her run it. Connects it to like one of the victims at the very beginning. There's some construction dealing. I don't know. It's all a little like underdeveloped, but like. Fine, whatever.
Sure. It's like a construction company, like a woman that owns her husband's construction company, even though she hated it, and like he died, and then she could have sold it, but then didn't, and and then she's one of the people killed, and
because apparently the sec Werner, he does like some construction things that it's basically a lot of like bridge to nowhere or like monorail type, like Simpsons monorail type things. It's just like they're construction projects that no one needed that just make a bunch of money and are pointless. Then they move on. It's like they've been in Albuquerque and like Georgia, but not the U.S. Georgia. Like they go on and on and on. And so they connect that to that one victim you're talking about. And they start to figure out they killed the other 4 people to hide the one actual target. It was like they shot the first one and then like waited for a while for the second, like because that's the one he needed to kill. So like he took his time on that one. Again, talking way too close to people. No regard for personal space. So yeah, they're kind of like they're getting to the bottom of it. They kind of like cracked it. Handsome sniper Charlie, goes to see Sandy. Just kills her. Sucks.
Just like the guy behind him just cold cocks her, and then he suffocates her. It's just like
I didn't like that at all. I didn't like anything about that.
No, not at all.
Real gross. Helen gives Reacher the gun range to check out. Like she found it. She found the one. Emerson, he finds Sandy's body. Bunch of cops there. Does some detecting. Reacher like pulls up to, and through his detecting, he like goes to the hotel that because it's right outside, conveniently right where he's staying at this motel. And he asks the clerk like about like who could have done this, and she's like, "There's only one guy." And again, that works with the show Reacher.
There's only one guy who could have not killed her in with one punch.
Right, but other than Tom Cruise just being ridiculously handsome, like that doesn't scream like that's a guy that could have done that, you know?
No.
But yeah, because I was like, oh, who are they alluding to? And then once he shows up, I was like, oh, I guess that's what they meant.
I thought that too. I was like, who are they talking about? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't work because he's a tiny little homunculus man.
Yeah, he's 5'7".
Yeah, like I would never have been like, yeah, that was the guy.
Yeah,
never would even crossed my mind. But yeah, that's what we're doing. So he's like, it was him. He pulls up, and man, those EMTs doing a really bad job of putting that body in the ambulance because it's just like her face is just not covered. There. She's just like fish eyes.
It's
like,
just
like,
there.
Jesus Christ, man.
Cover that shit up.
Yeah.
Please.
At least do the eye close thing. Like, why is her eyes still wide open?
The action movie trope.
Yeah,
like,
you gotta close the eyes, man.
Give her some dignity.
Seriously. So yeah, he like pulls up and sees the dead body, and Emerson just like eyes him, and he quickly like fishtails out of there. He's in like some souped up like Dodge Charger, Camaro or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's orange with black stripes. Very inconspicuous.
Yeah. So they chase after him, and like during this car chase was so weird. It's like during the chase, the guys in the Audi that are following him, they're like still around, and they get in some like demolition derby like against each other. But then like
a
the
car
police
fight.
the police like go away for like long periods of time, like while they are dealing with each other. It's very strange.
Yeah,
and it goes
I was
on
wondering that too.
Forever.
It's
way too long.
Time.
It's
way too long. It's way too long. I guess it's kind of suspenseful, but it's just like, okay, cool, we get it.
I think it was meant to be, but I was just like, okay, get to a point.
Yeah.
What are you doing? It was just weird.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Didn't love it, but fine.
Yeah.
He eludes everybody. Eventually by this was also weird. He's like sees a bus, and he just like gets out of the car and lets it keep going and wanders over to like a bus stop with a crowded bus stop, and people just like hide him. Like they don't. Like,
yeah.
What was that
He
about?
could have just killed a bunch of people. Like,
but yeah, they don't know why they're after him.
They don't know.
That was weird, right? He like
very weird. Very
just,
weird.
Like, gives him his hat and
then just like they block him. It's just what if this dude just like killed a bunch of innocent people? You know, like you don't know that.
You clearly know the cops are after him. Like
yeah.
And it's in like a regular neighborhood. Like to make that a thing, you have to have like crooked cops, like a thing in the past, like in that neighborhood, there were like crooked cops like doing shady shit.
Sure.
So then like the neighborhood all knows that like if the cops are after him, it's maybe not legit.
Yeah.
But if you're just a civilian, you're like, yo, it's this dude. Go get him.
Yeah, like what the fuck? It was very sorry, I got really loud there for a second. Very odd.
Yeah, it needed something like that to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just like maybe you wouldn't help him. Like maybe you wouldn't like point him out because you're just scared, but you wouldn't be like helping him. Like
no.
Aiding and abetting a fugitive. You just wouldn't do that.
You want to go to jail for this fucking guy?
Exactly, because you would go to jail for that.
Yeah.
If they caught you. Like, there's no reason to put yourself in harm's way.
Nope.
Or like have some sort of like thing where he like stood up for that neighborhood like in a public view, so they like sort of knew who he was and was like, okay, we're gonna help.
Yeah.
Like something, just anything.
Yeah, but just nope. Let's just hide this mere criminal.
So weird.
Yeah, very bizarre.
Doesn't matter. He gets on the bus. Fine. Cool. Emerson and DA go to see Helen. They're basically like questioning her because now they think that Reacher's like involved or he's doing some shady shit. They think that he killed Sandy and et cetera, et cetera. And he just like calls her up and talks to her while they're there, and they're just like none the wiser. So also weird. They're just like, oh, it's the office, and they're just all fine with that answer.
Yeah, like who was it you're talking to? And she's like, it was the office. Okay, gotta go. Bye. Yeah. No.
But he lays a little nugget of information. He's like, look, only like 3 people like knew where I was gonna be, and like there was only 3 people that could have basically set me up for this, and it's you, which I know didn't, Emerson, and your dad. So now she knows one of those 2 is something's up.
Yeah, something's rotten in Denmark.
Yeah. And then they just leave because they're just done. Whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Reacher like apparently stole her car too. And next day he takes it to go investigate this gun range she found out. That's when we get some Robert fucking Duvall.
Fucking Bobby D over here. He's
Gosh.
this old crotchety fuck who owns this gun range.
Yep. Man, this got convoluted too.
Yeah, a little too convoluted.
Like, didn't need all this. I still don't even know what the point. We'll get to it, but I don't even know what like the reasoning behind it all was. Well, maybe we'll get to it. So yeah. He's he like recognizes him as a military man. He's asking questions about Barr, and of course, at first he doesn't want to give him up because like he's a Second Amendment gun toting motherfucker. Doesn't like cops poking around, what have you. He's like to make him, I guess, to like prove that he can be trusted. He's like, you need to hit like 3 shots dead center, and I guess shooting makes him trustworthy. I don't know.
Yeah, you put a few in the center, and maybe we'll talk.
Yeah. He says like you get 3 shots, you had to put them all there, and he's like, "Can I get a warm up?" And I like how he just puts one around.
Yeah. That's your mulligan, Mr. Ward.
Yeah. And before he shoots, he does this like weird little roll into position, which I don't understand.
Yeah, what was that about?
So strange. Yeah. So strange. And they were trying to like manufacture tension throughout, because like when he put the target down range, like they have Robert Duvall like look at his rifle, like he's gonna pick it up and shoot him.
Yeah.
Then it just cuts to him doing this weird little combat roll.
Shit like that. Just like I feel like you could have cut a good like 10 or 15 minutes out of the movie.
This
just
movie
like
was too long. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. And this is one of them. He pastes all 3 in the middle. Whatever. Passes his test. Like, I'll answer 1 question. But then he just like answers a bunch of questions.
And just knew it's Reacher right away because he's like, you don't look like a Yankees second baseman from 39 or something like that.
Yeah, I like that though.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like, oh, he's on the level. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I didn't say I was a Yankees second baseman. I said I was. It's like, all right, semantics, man. Just like lets him see the security cameras. It's Handsome Sniper was Bar's buddy because he's like, he has to have a buddy. But then there's this whole thing of like, he kept hammering the point of like, Bar's not that good of a shot.
Yeah.
Like, he's okay, but he's not that good. So there was this whole weird like little subplot in this interaction where it's like he didn't act because he had all these like targets up on the wall of what Bar apparently supposedly did, but they were like forged by Charlie. Like, it. Did you notice that? Like, that was
like, they were trying to make it that. Like.
And then he's like, well, maybe he did this so he could like feel like king shit. I guess it was like a way to get him to trust him. But maybe. It was just like really, really weird and like, hey, like, why are we even?
Just not necessary. Like,
no,
okay, he's
like
there. He's there with him. Okay, cool.
Yeah, like that's all he needed. But yeah, there's this whole back and forth about like he never could have made these shots. It's like, well, what?
Yeah, just.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
So Reacher fills Helen in on like what he found, and she's with her dad, and they do another one of those long camera pans because you're supposed to be like, oh, because she's like laying out everything she knows, and it's supposed to be like, which one's she talking to? Is it Emerson? Or of course it's her fucking dad.
Of course it's her fucking dad.
Fucking
like,
course.
Seriously.
Yeah, and then it's a big reveal. Like, we fucking know. We knew 30 seconds ago before you started this pan. And she still doesn't really know. She's like, yeah, like everything I pulled, all this information, like, it's under my name. So like, if anything happens to me and you're involved, like, basically it's your fault, which is a pretty good move on her part.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he's like, you need to get you in protective custody, and she's just like, fuck off, I'm leaving.
Not smart, because clearly she quickly gets snatched up by Emerson.
Emerson in the elevator, just
Charlie
tasers her ass.
Yeah.
In like the most empty courthouse or whatever government building they're in.
Something. Yeah.
Just nobody within anywhere. They just like drag this lifeless woman out of an elevator. There's not a soul to be found. Okay, sure, fine. Yeah, cool, they take her away. Reacher calls Helen after this. Charlie answers. He tries to
scene read too.
Oh, this is so funny.
Yeah.
How he just fucks with them.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
So.
All right.
I will be the handsome sniper.
Charlie, and I'll be Reacher.
Goddamn Jag Reacher.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Helen?
No.
Sorry, wrong number.
Is this Reacher?
Who is this?
Is this Reacher?
It's you. The guy from the car. Helen, are you hurt?
She's gonna be if you're not here in an hour. Do I have to tell you how this works?
You'll bounce me around and make sure I'm not followed, then walk me into an ambush and kill me.
Aw, you ruined my surprise.
Well, I can do one better. I went down to the gun range at Hinge Creek. I got the picture, prints, and I'm going to the feds. The lawyer's all yours.
Like, ring, ring.
On second thought, I'd like to kill you. Let's say winner take all.
Listen to me, you prick. I will kill this bitch if you aren't here in...
Click.
Shit.
Bring, bring. You think I'm a hero? I am not a hero. I'm a drifter with nothing to lose. You killed that girl to put me in a frame. I mean to beat you to death and drink your blood from a boot. Now this is how it's going to work. You're going to give me the address, and I'll be along when I am damn good and ready. And if she doesn't answer the phone when I call this number, if I even think you've hurt her, I disappear. And if you're smart, that scares you because I'm in your blind spot and I have nothing better to do.
Got a pen?
Don't need one. Oh, great. Oh,
I love how
good.
he just keeps hanging up on him. He just gets more and more flustered.
Yeah. He's such a mind fucker.
Yeah,
He's just
so
like
good. He calls him back like 3 times. It's so silly. It's so great.
And he's just like, listen here, you.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like, he just thinks he's in charge. It's like, he gives the, like, no, look at me. I am the captain now.
Look at me.
Look at me. Look at me.
I am the captain now.
Just fucking with him. Yeah, he gives him the location. So good. I don't need one.
Don't need one.
Fuck off, Regent. I don't need one.
Don't need one.
Like, just in case, I don't know.
I mean, hey, what if you forget, you know?
Exactly.
What if you come to 5336, not 5386?
Yeah, maybe you're dyslexic real quick. Just flip the numbers around. I don't know.
And I think Tom Cruise is dyslexic in real life.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well,
don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. Acting.
So, after this encounter, Reacher goes to meet with Cash. And he's like, basically, like, bring me, like, guns and stuff. If he's just to give him a gun, just brings him a giant, like, Rambo Bowie knife. They have a fun little back and forth. I like that he's like, he came, but he's, like, the right amount of skeptical. Like, I'm not giving you a gun to, like, my gun that's registered to me to, like, go shoot a bunch of strangers. Like,
no.
And when they're planning the attack, he's like, you shoot these people. He's like, absolutely not. He's like, I don't know these people. Like, I'm not just going to shoot a bunch of strangers. Like, then shoot the lights. It's like, yeah, so they can all start shooting at me. He's like, fuck off.
He's smart.
Yeah, he's like, once they start shooting at me, I'll shoot them. It's like, well, how do you suggest we do that? He's like, I don't know, go out there and run.
That was great. And that's, you know, Robert Duvall, that's because Robert Duvall's fucking awesome.
And he's keeping one eye closed. He's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? He's like, I'm saving my night vision. I don't know if that's even a thing, but I was like, I'm on board. I believe you.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Yeah,
I don't care if that is. I'm 100% like, yeah, that's how that works. It's so good. And he just like decides to get in the car and like drive at him instead. But before that, Zeke Werner, he threatens Helen for a bit before they put their plan in motion. And again, their plan is Reacher just reclines the seat all the way and drives at them all.
Backwards, mind you, using his rear view camera.
Yeah. While Cash operates an Overwatch.
Yeah.
I also liked how Cash wasn't trying to kill anybody.
Yeah.
Like, on purpose, he was just basically doing cover fire, like shooting near people to get them to put their heads down so Reacher could do what he needed to do. Like, he, like, wings a guy, like, sort of, but, like, he's not, like, shooting
the building
anybody.
near him, and exactly.
He's not shooting anybody. I thought that was, like, an interesting move for that character. Like, it made sense.
Yeah.
It was annoying because it's just like, shoot those motherfuckers. Like, they're gonna kill your boy. But also, like, I get it. Like, if I'm that guy, like, I don't want to kill anybody.
No. And he's an old dude. Like, do you think I want to go to prison at the age of fucking 80 years old?
Or even if they deserve it, it's just like, I don't want to do murder. Just
yeah.
I don't like it.
Ooh, icky.
Yeah, and so yeah, he like wings a dude, and Reacher does his thing. He brains a guy with a rock, like gets his gun.
Holy fuck, yeah.
That was great. Then he finds a map. Check out my gravel pit. Mystery unraveled. There we go.
And then it starts raining, and then you hear Robert Duvall just go, "Suck it."
So the gravel pit is where they're holding Helen.
Mm-hmm.
Reacher moves in. He's shooting fools right and left.
Mm-hmm.
Gets the drop on Charlie.
Yeah.
And does the silly tough guy move. Throws his gun.
It's like, okay, we're gonna do this barehanded.
So they can fight like men. They punch for a bit.
Uh-huh.
It ends in Reacher curb stomping Charlie.
Just holding his arm up and then just stomping on his head.
Brutal.
Ouch.
Brutal.
Owie.
Charlie's dead. Big dead.
Big time dead.
Makes his way into this trailer where Helen's being held with the sec and Emerson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I like it. Emerson had a good move here where he hides right behind Helen with two guns, one to her head and one out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And hides behind her, like a chump, but smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reacher proceeds to quickly drop him after mocking him for paying for parking.
Yeah, that's happened so fast. I was just like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, I'm not really sure how, because they had him in this defensive position where he wasn't even exposed, but whatever.
Sure. Reacher's that good.
Yeah, so he's Helen's fine. He confronts Zach. He asks him to see the baby. They chat for a bit, whatever. Werner's chewing scenery. Reacher's just like, fuck it. Just shoots him right in the face.
Yeah, neither of us are going to prison.
Yeah. Bang, right in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Him, Helen, and Cash all chat for a minute, and then they fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to Helen goes to see Barr when he's now conveniently woken up from his coma.
Of course he has.
He doesn't remember shit. This is kind of weird too, because he's just if they said I did it, I did it. I don't really understand what she's doing there, because she knows he didn't do it.
Yeah, maybe
she's like, hey, how would you have done this? And she shows him pictures of everything. He's like, I would have been on in my van on the bridge, exactly how Reacher earlier said this is how he would have done it. And yeah, I didn't really understand what the point of that was, because she knows he didn't. They should have all this evidence. What is to what end? Other than to just show that more Reacher evidence. Knew what was going on. It just felt like a reason to make Reacher seem he just knows everything.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, we know
He's
Reacher's
killed everybody.
He's the best, clearly.
Yeah,
clearly. He deduced it.
Yeah, so I guess whatever. Then we cut to Reacher on a bus, and someone's giving a lady a hard time, hassling her, and he stands up. Credits.
And was this a perfect movie? No. But was it fun for the most part? Sure.
Oh yeah. Sure. I had a good time. Outside of the beginning, I didn't love what set everything up, just because it made me feel gross. But I don't know. That was probably an exact story from a book, so
mm-hmm.
I have a hard time being too critical of if they took it from a source material, okay, you did what you got to do.
And adapting a book to a movie is always going to be hard. Always going to be hard. Yeah. A big dense book to a 2-hour movie. What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's why series work so much better.
Exactly. I got some trivia if you want to hear it.
Oh, hit us with some trivia.
Yes, sir. When Jack Reacher's car crashes into some barrels, the car accidentally stalled upon the impact, but Tom Cruise was luckily able to restart the car before driving off again. Rather than do a retake, Christopher Mcquarrie decided to leave it in the film, as he felt it added to the suspense of the scene.
I did notice that.
Yeah.
I like little touches like that, but again, that was just on minute
way too
14
long
of that chase, and that wasn't a chase. I was just all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's keep going.
Clearly, Tom Cruise did all of his own driving.
I figured he did.
Clearly.
They don't really even like show it that you can tell though, which was odd because it's like that's one thing the Mission Impossible movies do so well, that you are very, very aware that that is not you know it's him.
They have some shots like when he's coming over the bridge and like the camera goes.
Yeah, but a lot of it was like really tight on him in the car, where it's like that's what you do when he's not driving, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't feel like they utilized that maybe that wasn't like as big of a thing then yet.
Yeah,
maybe. It's just like everyone knows he does. Like we all know that now, and that's why we go see Mission Impossible movies. Sort of like, how's Tom Cruise going to try and kill himself today?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. Lee Child, the film's source novelist, was the police desk sergeant and the cop who gives Jack Reacher his personal belongings back when he leaves jail.
Oh, nice.
Jai Courtney had so much trouble with the American accent required for his role that several planned scenes were scrapped, and many of Courtney's lines were dropped from the sides.
Jai Courtney, like, you need to figure out who his representation is, because you need to call them and have them represent you, because he's been in like some of the biggest movies that were terrible. I don't blame him for it. He was in like a Die Hard. He was in like
the Terminator.
Like he's been in these movies. They stunk. It wasn't his fault, but like he kept getting these roles. Like, so whoever his agent is
I need to get
incredible.
That agent.
Yeah, find that motherfucker.
Yeah. Reacher introduced himself as Aaron Ward, and it's obvious that Cash recognizes the name of the 1925 Yankees second baseman. Cash pauses and says the name to confirm. Cash says, "Play ball," after Reacher is allowed his practice shot. So now the real shooting can take place.
I like that.
Oh, great.
That's nice.
Yeah. Brad Pitt, Hugh Jackman, Vince Vaughn, Jamie Foxx, and Will Smith were considered for the role of Jack Reacher before Tom Cruise was cast.
Oh, man. I would have loved Jamie Foxx or Will Smith.
Oh, that'd be great. You know who I honestly...
Actually, I would have liked any of them. Honestly.
Yeah. And I remember when Jack Reacher came out, because my dad was a huge fan of the books, and he was just like very skeptical, of course, you know, because he's a fan. And
right.
And I was like, well, who would you cast? And he goes, honestly, Gerard Butler.
Jerry would have done it. Oh,
Jerry would have been a great Reacher.
That would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if he's in 300 shape.
Oh, dude. And he seems just like a big dude.
Yeah, he seems wider.
Like, and he just seems
like a guy. You just
gotta
be wide. Like that's
gotta be wide.
You gotta be wider.
Well, here's something for you. According to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is a big Jack Reacher fan, he pursued the role around 2007.
Oh wow! Because now, like, he'd get that in a heartbeat.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, he wasn't what he is now.
No. Mm-mm.
He has the size for it, but I don't think he's right for it.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know why, but like he has the size 100%, but
I don't know if he's good enough an actor.
I just don't think he works in that role. Like what Tom Cruise was missing in size, I feel like he was missing in something else, but I can't put my finger on it. But like it'd be the same disconnect.
Yeah. Well, Alan Richardson, however you say it, he's perfect.
Perfect. I want him. I saw a fan casting. I didn't come up with this. I want him to be, because they're gonna do a MCU Venom. I want him as Eddie Brock in the MCU. Because Eddie Brock should be a big hulking man. Like that's
it makes sense.
Yeah, he's not the Topher Grace. Like that's not. No shade at Topher Grace. That's not his fault. Like obviously, if they cast me in it and I'm a spinning little nothing, I would have taken it. But that's not what Eddie Brock should be. He should be this big beefy motherfucker. And he'd be perfect for that.
Well, I mean, Reacher, you know, that's a huge starring vehicle for him. So he's gonna be. I'm sure he's gonna be booking some shit.
I would love that. It's so perfect.
Werner Herzog used Mick Jagger as a point of reference on how to play the Zek. That makes zero sense. But it's Werner Herzog, and okay, sure.
I mean, how?
I have
and where?
No idea. No idea.
Just show that man the baby.
Show him the baby. And last, but certainly not least, we haven't had one of these in a while.
Yeah.
Body count.
Oh man, I don't think it's high.
It's not high, but it's not low. Let's say that.
I mean, 12?
20.
What? Where?
I don't know.
Maybe they're counting off screen deaths?
Maybe. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but yeah, there you go.
There's 5 to start it off with.
5, and then Jeb. I guess they're counting off-screen deaths too. So
yeah, and I guess he kills like 5 people, 6 people. Yeah, okay.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah,
I forgot about
trivia.
the 5 to begin with.
What are we doing next week?
Oh, coming up next week with Robert Pattinson taking on the Matt Reeves Batman role. We decided to go with a little Batman ourselves, and we're doing an animated movie. Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
I love this. I love this movie. I'm so excited. It's streaming on HBO. Check it out. I love it.
And it's got really what's his name, like the animated series,
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah,
who's played Batman for like 30 fucking years.
Yeah,
he is Batman.
He's my Batman.
Like, yeah.
That's my favorite Batman.
He's great. And this was basically a feature film length version of the Batman animated series from when we were kids.
So good.
It's good. It's dark, and it's great.
Up too.
It really does.
Like,
it's incredible storytelling.
That.
Me too.
I still watch it, and it's still so good.
100%. It's just incredible storytelling for a 22-minute episode. It's great. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really excited.
I got to see that a little early.
Oh, you lucky dog.
I actually might be able to even see it earlier. I saw something before we started recording that I might have an opportunity to go see it earlier. Right now I have 2 tickets to it, one on Thursday and one on Wednesday. But I might be able to get one even earlier. I might be able to see it.
Oh, you lucky
Monday
dog.
or Tuesday. We'll see.
You lucky
I have to respond to it. Whatever. We'll see.
But yeah, anything else you wanna add?
Man, that's all I got. You take us out.
Happy trails, Hans.
I want to see the baby.